Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. This, of course, based around this week's Raw, but we do have plenty of other things to talk about. This was so strange. So footage started emerging of WWE announcing the Women's Intercontinental Championship before Raw had actually even started. And so I was so confused as to where had this been announced? Had it gone out on social media, or were they saving it for main event, or were they taping it for like a future episode of Raw? I mean, I really was confused. But obviously we got an answer. It was actually shown during Raw that they'd unveiled this. I don't know why they did it this way. I have not got a clue, right? In fact, there was a really good comment. I think it was AB Jobson in our live stream said, it did sort of make it feel like it wasn't very important. Like, here's something we did earlier that you probably should be aware of, you know? It's like, this is the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Like, the men's version has main evented SummerSlam. You know, it's had some of the greatest matches in WWE history. The idea that you would reveal the women's title this way is a little bit strange. I think we can agree it's strange, right? So this is the title. No surprises as to what it looks like. Same as the men's, but on a white strap. Obviously, that's the kind of strap of choice for the women's division. This was how it was shown off. You know, we had Adam Pearce in there. Again, this was earlier in the night. So this wasn't live. This was taped before Raw, and then they showed it during Raw. Obviously, we've had some reaction. Zelina Vega says, mine. Ivy Nile is interested. Dakota Kai said that IC title is in Damage Control's crosshairs. And this is the person I really want to win it. I just said this during our live stream, and I know that a lot of people are going to disagree, and that is absolutely fine. The point that I'm going to make is, though, you can only have one first-time holder. I'm not interested in who people want to see have this, because I'm sure a lot of women are going to end up having this at some point. But who should be the first? Because that first is so special and it's so important, right? Because there can only ever be like one first. So it really feels to me like it needs to go to someone that deserves that recognition, that deserves like a bit of a thank you, right? To be given that honor. And honestly, for me, it's Natalya. If you want to talk about someone that has gone above and beyond, done everything that's been asked, you know, she's gone through the Divas era where her matches were getting cut. She's been on Total Divas where, you know, the women were not really treated with the same level of respect as what they are now. But yet she's also a heart. She came through the Heart Dungeon. She is legit in the ring. They actually use her as a way of introducing women to the main roster, because they know that Natalya will put them through their paces, and she will be able to give very detailed feedback as to how the talent has performed. So it's really, really interesting that they are now bringing this Women's Intercontinental Championship to the world. And for me, this is the person that should have her name chiseled in stone as that first holder. And then, of course, it can be Io, Dakota, Kairi, Lyra, you know, Zelina. They can all get it, like, afterwards. So, Natty said, feeling so happy to see those two letters IC attached to our division. It's always been a title made for workhorses, by workhorses. And I couldn't be more excited to see how we build our own history deserving of the Intercontinental Championship name. Hashtag Ironheart. So, what else needs to be said? I hope it's her. Many of you are going to hope for other people. That's absolutely fine. I've said my piece on this. So, there we go. That is the Intercontinental Championship. Let's go over to the Wyatts, shall we? So, right here, the Wyatt Sicks. Everyone has something to lose. That was tweeted out 7 hours ago. Felt like it would have a presence on the show, and it did. So, Kane, shout out to you. Appreciate it. Paul Ellering said, a reading from the Gospel of Soul 3:13 What is truth when you are anointed by legacy? Wyatt Sicks, you are the great pretenders from the land of misfit toys and a kindergarten funhouse. Humanoids, lemmings, zombies, Uncle Howdy, nevermore. So Paul Ellering putting out a little cryptic tweet there, but I really like that. You know, what is the truth when you are anointed by legacy? So kind of saying that you are only here because you are carrying on Bray's creative, but, you know, what is the truth about who you really are? You know, we're going to find that out, I suppose. So you are from the land of misfit toys and a kindergarten fun house. So, yeah, really, I don't tend to put Paul Ellering stuff in because sometimes it can be really wacky and really out there. But there was a couple of things in here I thought were very interesting. Sportskeeda making their feelings very clear about this. I think as soon as they left Scarlett, we all went, oh, God. She's in big trouble. And she was. Look at this. What a great shot. It's very Hogan Ultimate Warrior. Kevin said they're here. So there we go. Obviously, the Final Testament left, leaving Scarlett in the room on her own. We had Nikki coming through the door, and we didn't know what was going to happen, but it was a great image. Then, of course, they end up going back into the room after they had been to wherever they had gone to. And that's where Scarlett left me a bit confused. She sort of like was hitting on Karrion. I didn't quite understand why. I think she was just emotional. But on the mirror, after the room had been trashed, Scarlett had took a bit of a beating, was written, everyone has something to lose, which obviously is what they had put in their tweet. I mean, I don't know about you. I was kind of hoping this would be the start of something a little bit bigger from Raw. I really was looking for them to kind of get a bit of a bigger dub than this. You know, it's a message that's sent. You know, we know your weakness. We know that you love Scarlett, and we know that, you know, a way to get to you would be to go after Scarlett. And, you know, with The Miz, same could be true with Maurice. So, you know, they've got vulnerability, they've got weakness. And as we said during the live stream, Karrion can come out with his mind games and can come out with his messages on social media. Wyatt Sicks can respond with violence and stuff like that. So I would have liked for this to have gone a bit further, to be honest. I would have imagine like how cool it would have been if they opened it up and like Scarlett was like passed out, maybe like tied to some sort of cross or something like that. I mean, I don't know if you'd get away with that in 2024, but I think we could have gone further than a beating up, trashing of the room and a message on a mirror. But hey, that's what we got. So at least we've got something. Talking of Karrion, right? A couple of bits here for Karrion. So there was a thread here. I mean, we've now got fans doing Karrion's work. We've got fans now that have listened to what Karrion has had to say, and they're now really taking to heart him sort of implying that he may be the sixth person in the Wyatt Six. And so people are now going back, trying to find clues, trying to find stuff like that. I'm not really engaging in that because I just think it's nonsense. But there's someone here that's kind of done a thread of like connections that they found. You can read them. I would just say keep an open mind because it's not a theory that I personally subscribe to. I think this is Karrion playing his mind games. We've kind of walked through and explained his connections with Bray. And, you know, yeah, you can have a read. Karrion just said excellent thread, right? And of course that gives it credibility because he's kind of saying, you know, this is worth a read, is retweeting it out, is saying it's excellent. But of course he would, because he wants you to believe it, because he's playing his mind games, right? Here's Karrion. When they play their hand, perhaps even when they win, it was still with a card I dealt them by design. So no matter what, I make sure they walk away more honest than intended. I gave them a choice to win at a very high cost. which is very interesting from Karrion. Karrion putting out little messages. Then there was a fan that made a video, right? Had like the Fiend at the end of it and whatever. Man in the Woods said, soon you'll see, in response to Karrion. Karrion just said, I warned you all. This was another theory that did the rounds as well. WrestleNight tagged me in it. So this was another one where people are trying to find connections. This was an image that I think was tweeted out by Bray, and at the time there was a lot of people thinking, could this be like a Fiend mask or something along those lines? And I think Bob's implying that it might be this mask that Karrion has wore in the past in other promotions. I don't think it's the same, right? I've said, like, this has got like a pointy tooth, like fangs. This mask doesn't. This mask has got an X on the forehead. This image doesn't. The teeth are like 4 kind of rectangles for this mask. These are like different shaped teeth, right? People are saying that the shape of the nose is the same. And maybe even you could find some similarity in the eyes, and the mouth is open. I don't dispute there are some similarities. But in my mind, this is either a picture of this mask or it is not a picture of this mask. And I can find enough difference for this to not be a picture of this mask. So for me, this is not a connection, right? But this is where we are now. Karrion has got into people's heads so much. People are actually now actively looking to see if they can find connections. And the thing is, we've said before, if you look for connections, there's a good chance you will find some connections. And so people are, you know, finding that he used to be called White Rabbit and that we had a White Rabbit campaign. And, you know, then, of course, you're in a bit of a snowball effect. I can't stress enough, I really think he is playing mind games with people. I really think that he is muddying the water. And if anyone then tweets anything that's like a connection they feel that they found, he will then respond, excellent find, great job, you're on the right path. And then, of course, that makes them think that they've, oh my God, I've cracked it, you know? He's very clever. He's very, very clever. This is something you're going to have to navigate yourselves. I know where I stand on it. You're going to have to decide where you stand on it, right? So that's just some of the noise that's out there around Karrion at the moment and the Wyatts. Let's go to Raw, because Raw was stacked. So much stuff in Raw. Look at this folder. Jeez. So, Fightful, just getting this screenshot, over 72 million social views, the most views of any SmackDown moment of 2024, right? So this moment's very well received. Oh my God, this moment was horrific, right? Let's take the sound down and let's just scoot round to this bit here. Look at that. Flipping Bron Breakker goes right into the corner of this table. It was horrible. He actually had like a bit of a red mark here when we came back from the break. I'm stunned it wasn't worse. And actually, as time goes by, that might come out in a bit more of a bruise. This looked horrible. Some people have suggested that it might not be as bad as it looked and that he might have been selling. If he was, he killed it. He did an amazing job. It was amazing because it looked horrific. So, don't really care if it was real or not. I mean, I hope it wasn't, actually, because if it was real, I think he might have done, like, you know, a bit of damage there. But he was able to continue with the match. So, yeah, just amazing. Amazing moment. Then, of course, we had a big brawl. Adam Pearce comes out. He announces Sheamus, Ludwig, Braun for the IC Championship at Survivor Series. So we've had a match added. As well as that, we found out that Roman and CM Punk are going to sit down on Smackdown. So Smackdown is going to be a big deal. They were asking the question, could they trust CM Punk? Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu also made for SmackDown. We had the advantage match tonight between Nia and Bianca. And of course, Bianca emerging victorious. That means the faces will have the advantage for the women. But we've got Jacob against Jey. And honestly, I don't know which way that goes. I might have Jey as the underdog, because the women's face team have got the advantage. Maybe we give the men's heel team the advantage. So I think I've got Jey as the underdog. She was shown during the show, but Sean Ross Sapp spotted her anyway. Vanessa Hudgens in the front row at WWE RAW. So, as we said, she was shown anyway. But, yeah, good spot there. Judgment Day obviously retained their championships. So, that was big for them, of course. I thought that War Raiders did stand a chance of getting those titles. But thanks to outside interference with Carlito and Dominik, Judgment Day were able to retain. There was a count during that match, though, where it looked like Viking Raiders or War Raiders had got the 3. Referee went 1, 2, and I think he knew that Finn was not going to break the pin. If you look at the 3, it looks just a touch delayed, so it's like 1, 2, and he kind of does that little extra. It wasn't just 1, 2, 3. If he'd have done that, I agree. I think it would have been a 3. He kind of went 1, 2. There was just this little extra beat that was in there, which meant that Finn could break it up. But it was real close, man. New Day celebrate their 10-year anniversary next Monday, and everything is coming to a head. What an amazing segment they had backstage. One of the best backstage segments, well, I would go as far as to say I've ever seen, to be honest. I mean, it really was right up there with some of the best backstage segments of the year. It was so good. 10 years in the making in many ways, if you think about all the callbacks that were mentioned. Sportskeeda said that Woods was dressed up as Goku Black. Sounds like it could be bad news. Now, I think this is Dragon Ball. I don't watch it. They were in different attire. I don't know what they were based on, like the character names. But I think it was Dragon Ball, and they were both representing different characters. I'm guessing this is probably an evil character. Don't know. Look at this. This is some of the most disrespectful 2 minutes you will ever watch in WWE history, said Fadeaway Media. I mean, they were going off, man. Kofi saying to Xavier, this is why me and E never let you run the plays in the past. You know, you've never won a world title like me and E. In fact, you've never won any singles title. I mean, Kofi was really going off on Xavier, but Xavier was like, well, you know, you're always too scared to run the plays that need to be run. You know, the reason why you took so long to win the WWE Championship was because you was always too scared. And you didn't even win that championship. We got you there. It's down to me and E that got you that opportunity. And he was kind of making out that Kofi just wouldn't have done that on his own. Like, there was some real shots being fired. It was such an amazing segment. Really enjoyed it. They also announced as well this LA Knight against Shinsuke Nakamura at Survivor Series. That takes Survivor Series to 5 matches now, which is really good because I think that's probably about it. There might be one more that squeezes in there, but if there is, I think it's probably going to come from Smackdown now. So we've got 5 matches with the Intercontinental in the United States. Obviously, we know about Gunther against Damian Priest, and we've got the 2 War Games matches. This was shown as well, most wins in 2024, not just in the women's division, all of WWE. Bianca top with 24. Bron Breakker in second is very interesting. But I was saying during the stream, go back to, you know, the 90s and 80s in particular. Like 24 wins is really low. We looked at the Ultimate Warrior in 1990. He had over 115 wins or something in 1990. Bianca's got the most, and we're towards the end of November. She's on 24. So, I mean, the schedules are just night and day compared to where they used to be, which is probably a good thing for the health and well-being of the current stars. And then, of course, the show ended, Raw ended with Bayley helping Bianca get the victory so that they had the advantage at War Games. Now, we don't know that Bayley is going to be that 5th woman, the Jade replacement. We know that Jade is out of Survivor Series. If you saw the last Unseen, Dave Meltzer was saying that she was going to be out for like 3 months at least. So we need a replacement. It looks like Bayley has put herself in the driving seat for that. So, yeah, very interesting. I did think it was interesting as well, though, that the heels lost because of cheating. You know, Bayley came down and interfered in the match. Nia goes face first into an exposed turnbuckle and then gets put away by Bianca. And outside interference is very interesting way for the face team to get the advantage. So, yeah, just something that I noticed. Right, NXT tomorrow. Fallon Henley against Tatum Paxley, North American title match. Tony against Shawn Spears, North American title match. Axiom against Ethan Page, qualifying match for Deadline. Julia against Kalani, qualifying match, should be really fun. I included this because I agree with it and I just think it's an interesting point. So I Am the Color Red said, this is my take. The red shirt is a red herring. Heyman is representing Punk and only convinced him to join War Games for revenge on Solo. Heyman wants no part of Bloodline. Solo bullied him. Roman Reigns abandoned him. He is no longer the wise man. He is Punk's advocate. Now, I agree with everything here. I don't know that he stays with Punk long term. I'm not sure about that. Do we turn Punk heel? I don't know if we do that. I mean, that would be pretty wild, wouldn't it? To turn Punk heel. But he did say that when he came back, it would start like 12 months worth of story. So I do think that this is... When I saw it, I mean, I didn't actually make the connection to Solo, but when I saw it, I might have even commented during the live stream, that's a weird look for him. I think they wanted you to notice his attire. I think they wanted you to notice that he's wearing the same clothes as Solo. I think they want you to think he's working with Solo. I think the swerve will be he isn't working with Solo. And so I do agree with this. The only thing I'm not certain about is him being Punk's advocate, but him wanting nothing to do with Roman and Solo and bringing in Punk to get revenge on Solo. Yes, I agree with all of that. ESPN have ranked the top 30 pro wrestlers under the age of 30. So we can have a little look at this. We can whoosh this over. So here is the list. Logan Paul is on the list at number 22, right? And so here's the top 10. Umino, Daniel Garcia, Carl Fletcher, Jack Perry, Takeshita, Mariah May. I mean, that's really good if you're AEW, right? Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm. Is she really still under the age of 30? That's bonkers. MJF at number 2 is insane to me. Like, Dominik Mysterio being ahead of MJF. Not sure I can quite agree. I think I would have MJF at 1. And Dominik Mysterio, I don't even know if would be in my top 3, to be honest. Dominik Mysterio ahead of Rhea Ripley. Dominik Mysterio being 1 is pretty bonkers to me. But, yeah, I think I'd have MJF at 1. I'd have Dominik Mysterio drop down. I'd have him below Rhea. And Toni Storm being that high, I really don't mind. I love her work. I don't watch AEW, so that's hard to talk about, but... Del Vikingo, I thought, was older. He's killing it in Mexico. Him being that low is a bit of a surprise. Him being at 11, is that a surprise? Jordan Grace, still under the age of 30. She's going to kill it when she comes to WWE. I don't know. Everyone's going to have a slightly different one. I can see the names, and I, don't massively disagree with who's on here. But I think, like most of you, this order, I think, would be changed. I struggle finding myself agreeing with Dominik being number 1. So that was the list anyway. Whose list was that? ESPN, that was. Trenton, thank you. So here we go. An announcement made 10 hours ago. Cody against Kevin Owens is official for Saturday night's main event. So there we go. That is a fish. Let's go, community. Tristan said, my son and I are ready for tonight. Hopefully the Wyatt Sicks are there tonight as well. So a couple of signs and a shirt. And Tristan, I hope you and your son had a great time at WWE RAW. Right, let's go Jade, shall we? I actually don't know the latest on this, but here, look, we got Naomi saying, do you think I snuffed my sister? 21,500 votes. No was just in the lead, right? Here's 6 hours ago, Naomi saying these numbers are insane. I'm actually thinking about deactivating. Should we have a look, see what it is live? If we go down, do you think I snuffed my sister, Jade? I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna go no. Okay, it's roughly about the same. These numbers are insane. I'm thinking about deactivating. So there we go. So that's where it currently stands with Jade. Obviously very interesting that Bayley looks like she's going to benefit but for Jade being out. That surely raises up the suspicion on Bayley. Whoever takes Jade's place at Survivor Series, the suspicion increases. Just like whoever takes over Jade's spot in that United States tournament, the suspicion increases. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Right, I think we've just got fun and other. I always have so many folders. I'm always worried that I'm going to forget one that we do really need to be looking at, right? So I think it's just fun and other. So here we go. Paul Heyman has got a couple of new shirts. So that's how long Roman was champ for. That's how long CM Punk was champ for. So a couple of shirts, both with Paul Heyman on. Very good. That's from WWE Shop. Word of Wrestling. Shout out to you. Tagging me in this. Look. Braun Strowman said I felt cute. Might come and cut your trees down later. Hashtag new projects. And Wrestle Night tagging me in this very interesting new shirt for Damian Priest. Got the eyes emojis because it's a little reminiscent of that Fiend that we never got. Just a little reminiscent. So I'm not saying there's anything to it, just a little reminiscent. So there we go. And then if we go into other, here we go. Look, CM Punk posted text exchanges between himself and Stone Cold. So I think this was Stone Cold. I think he must have said who. So there we go. He sent a picture of Stone Cold's on the truck, right? 2 Stone Colds. Stone Cold responded, handsome Steve Austin. And CM Punk said, my stunning friend. And then he got in touch after that return at Survivor Series. This is Stone Cold. He said, God damn, that was an effing monster pop. Maybe the loudest I've ever heard. So just a little glimpse of the little exchanges being exchanged, the tweets being exchanged between Stone Colds and CM Punk's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, this is worth it as well. I don't know if you've ever seen that video of Braun doing the arm wrestling with that guy and he loses, right? It's quite a famous clip that's done the rounds. Well, finally, Braun's come out and said this video is 3 years old and it's not real. For crying out loud, this was filmed for a TV show that never went through. Plus, isn't even original footage. It's all been cut up. Hashtag over the top. But I bet y'all don't understand that either. So that footage of him arm wrestling someone and losing, he's saying that this is just not even real footage. It was filmed for a TV show, which I thought was very interesting. Right, this has been the talk of the town, and I really can't show clips from it because it's on YouTube. So that means if I did show clips, there's a good chance it would flag. But if you want to see behind the scenes of CM Punk returning at Survivor Series, there is this video that's up on YouTube that you can watch. There's a great moment after where Randy's like, you can't even give me 3 minutes to enjoy my own return. And CM Punk's like, well, to be honest, I only came back to personally make sure that I ruined your moment. Because you might remember that Randy returned on the same show as CM Punk. TJF1983, shout out to you. So this is footage that has not been seen that they found in the vault. So this is interesting. TJF sent a few screenshots through. Definitely worth watching. That, I think, is on the Vault channel. So wrestling fans since day one, thank you. And also just a bit of news. Penta's contract is set to expire next week. Obviously, there'd been a lot of talk of him coming into WWE with Rey Fenix as the Lucha Bros. We don't know quite where that stands now because Rey Fenix is having to stay in AEW a little bit longer because they've added injury time onto his contract. So we don't know the situation. But there is a chance that he finds his way to WWE very, very soon. His contract expires next week. Could he be a surprise entry in the Royal Rumble? Don't know. Just something to think about. Right, I've got two thanks folders. I've got the normal one and I got the Wyatt one because we did get that Wyatt message. So, and I got tagged loads, right? So, Mark, Cubs fan 16. I met Lee Moriarty and Cross follows me. Shout out to you, dude. Ratchet the Owl 2. Lots of retweets in here and it's so appreciated. Raymond, thank you. Mitchell, thank you. Word of Wrestling, thank you. Kelly the Wise Lady, thank you. Metal Mama 1987, thank you. Wrestling's biggest fan, appreciate it, my friends. Sweet Chin Wrestling, thank you. Drew, thank you. Lee Moyes, appreciate it. OTC, thank you. And Jang Tae Sang, thank you, my friends. And few thanks in here for Martin, Emmanuel, Wrestle Knight, Raymond, Austin Cooper, Stone Cold Scorp, Arrows 1, TJF 1983, Benjamin Clark, Julian, Hair Metal Forever, FGC Dads, Edward Duffy, Larry Flowers, Craig, Uncle Revel, Rodney Uncle Howdy White, Bradley, Sinister Files, Stan Games, Wendy Lucho, Stan Games again, WWE, TNA, New Japan, AEW Wrestling Fan, Logan's B, Casper, and Kelly the Wise Lady. Thank you all for your support, and thank you to everyone that tagged me and stuff. It wouldn't be possible to thank everyone. I get literally hundreds, maybe even borderline thousands of notifications throughout the day. So it wouldn't be possible to thank everyone, but really appreciate the support. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Unseen. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.